You get a good sense of rhythm.
Thanks. I told you I was musical.
Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It is now mid-June. It's warm out. It's kind of humid, and it is as hot in here as it can be in terms of the quality of the guests. They are just getting better and better. I think most of you will recognize this gentleman here. He's a musical legend from the Boston area, as we all are. This is Charlie Farren. He has his own band. He has his own record label. He plays with Joe Perry of Aerosmith, the Joe Perry Project. He has his own band called Fahrenheit, named after himself, and I guess he likes the thermometer too, and he kind of coagulated that together. And tonight, I'm going to interview him. We're going to find out, most of the shows, all the shows I do where I have guests on, no matter how famous they are, there are going to be things about them that other people don't know. But after tonight, there are going to be no things about Charlie Farren that nobody knows after we're done, because I make sure that we get it all covered.
We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
Okay,
to the bottom, and then we hit rock bottom and we spiral up into the universal plane of success, of the pinnacle that we've never achieved before, and that is what we're doing tonight. So, Charlie Farren, thank you for being on Topic Time. What a blessing it is to have you here.
Harrison, it's wonderful to be here, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, you're very, very well known. You're legendary, but you're my guest, and this is how we do the show with everybody. So, Charlie, you're a lifelong musician. You grew up in the Boston area. You're a Boston-bred man. You know everybody pretty much in the music industry. And here, you know all the people from, Giles. Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry. You play with. I imagine you know Peter Wolf and all those people. Yep. So let's go all the way back to way before that, even before I was, the seedling of my father's eyes and my mother's wishing and could have done something else. How did it come to be? What were you like as a kid, and how did you, young when you broke into music, and how did it get there?
So my family always sang.
Okay.
We would go on car rides and would sing.
Cool.
Not just sing, but would sing out.
I understand.
And
drive the other drivers off the road, basically.
We just sang joyfully. We all sang big, and they all still sing. One of my sisters actually sang in a band with me.
Cool.
And my oldest sister.
One song or a bunch of songs?
No, she sang backup for the show.
Oh, okay.
And my oldest sister had a band when I was probably around the 8th grade.
Okay.
And they used to rehearse at my house. It was a banjo, 12-string guitar, a 6-string guitar, and a tambourine player. They all sang.
Okay.
And they were fantastic, and they worked a lot.
Right.
And I thought, you can have a band? Wow,
Oh, man.
That would be cool. So I was in different bands through high school.
Okay.
And I went to college for that first year.
What college?
Salem State.
Okay. Salem, Mass.
Salem, yes.
Gotcha.
And English literature.
Okay.
And
that's what you major in?
Yes.
Okay.
And that summer, the band I was in, it wasn't my band. It was a band that hired me to sing in the band.
Cool.
So I didn't play guitar. And we got a job.
How did they find you? Just from hearing you sing at the school?
I don't really remember, to tell you the truth.
Okay, that's fine.
I probably auditioned,
Oh, I understand.
And so we played all summer.
Yep.
In White Horse Beach.
Yeah, is that up the North Shore?
It's in Manamet. It's almost down the Cape.
Oh, all right, okay. I should know my beaches.
So we played all summer, and then when the summer ended,
Yep.
the gig ended, and I went back to school, and I was taking these courses. We were reading Beowulf. I thought it was impenetrable.
Okay.
Right?
You say that again?
Beowulf.
Beowulf?
The Beowulf, the literary.
It's a book. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I was taking courses like weather and climate, and I just wanted to be in a band.
You should have met Mark
So
Rosenthal.
I was walking across the quad one day, and there was a band in the
Yep.
Student Union building.
Okay.
And I went in and watched them, and I thought, what am I doing? I don't want to learn about clouds. I want to learn how to do this, but I want to do it better than that.
So this was an epiphany for you, basically.
Well, it was when I finally got the courage to say, no, this is the path for me.
There you go.
And I was in a series of different bands. Usually I was the young guy that they hired. There was a 4-piece band, and they brought me in to be the lead singer. And so we worked, we were doing covers.
Okay.
But we toured.
Did you have a name for the band?
It was called Live Lobster.
Okay.
And we toured from Philadelphia to Schenectady to Bangor to New York,
Wow.
everywhere. And we worked, 45 plus weeks a year.
Okay, now this was the band that these guys found you, or you found, now were these guys at the school, or did they find you?
No, they were, and I was in a series of different groups. but
Right.
This was the first band that really toured and worked.
Okay,
And they were older guys, and there was 2 guitar players, bass and drums.
okay,
And I saw them playing in Harvard Square
Okay.
on the Commons one
Right.
day. And I got the nerve to go up to one of them and say, "Hey, I'm a singer.
okay.
Let me sit in and sing a song."
How old were you then, about?
I was probably
college age, 20s, early 20s?
maybe 19,
Okay.
20.
Yep.
And so they hired me to be their singer.
Oh,
and we
wow.
did, and we toured, and we did that for a long time. But I was a guitar player, and I
Okay.
was a songwriter, and I wanted to play guitar and sing the songs that I wrote.
Right.
And they weren't too interested in having a third guitar player. So at one point, I left, and one of the guitar players came with me, and we started Balloon, which was the first original band I
Okay.
had. And after a couple of years of working hard, I was able to record a couple of songs that I wrote.
Yep.
East Coast, West Coast, which got on the radio.
Cool.
And we started filling clubs, and then Listen to the Rock, which got on the radio big time.
Okay, when you say go on the radio, I mean this is BCN, all the stations, all the rock stations in Boston
BCN,
and all over the country.
WAAF.
Okay.
But when Listen to the Rock came out, Charles loved it, and he played it.
Lockwood Era?
Lockwood Era.
Yep.
And he would play it like every day, and all the other DJs would start playing it every day. It
So what
getting
year was
played-
this about? Around, you know?
This would have been maybe 78.
Okay, 40 years ago. Hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
I know.
And the band started filling clubs all over New England.
Great,
It was really
wow.
exciting. Really exciting
This
time.
was Balloons, you say?
Balloon.
Wow.
I was working in the music store. I was dating the woman who's now my wife. And
American dream come true, my friend.
and I heard about Joe Perry wanting a singing guitar player.
Okay, but Aerosmith was already established, but they wanted. I mean, you
Aerosmith-
could have actually been with Aerosmith. Technically, you are because you played with with
Well,
Joe's band.
I know the guys in Aerosmith, but I never was in Aerosmith.
I understand. I know.
Um,
they already the foursome.
They
was
already
enough
have
for
a
them.
singer that's pretty
exactly.
good. But Joe at one point left the band, and
Yeah.
he put out a record with a different singer,
Okay.
and a series of things don't always work out the way you think.
I
they
always
would.
say everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
though.
So I joined him in 1980,
Okay.
and we made a record, and then we toured throughout '81,
Okay.
and it was
Just you and
fantastic.
Joe. You and Joe Perry.
David Hall was in the band.
David Hall, of course. He
Ron
was a guest
Stewart.
on my show years ago. Yeah.
Ron Stewart was the drummer.
Yep.
And we went on a tour with Ozzy Osbourne,
Wow.
Alice Cooper, ZZ Top, Rush.
Yeah.
We did
Wow.
shows with Kansas, with
Incredible.
Judas Priest, the Scorpions. It was fantastic.
Of
It
course.
was really fun. We played
All over
a
the
lot.
country, right?
All over North America.
There you go.
We
Even
got into Canada,
Canada?
for some dates. So that was fun.
Wow.
And it became clear at one point, though, that Joe had a new manager who was really looking to get Aerosmith back together. And at that point,
Well, I know what they went through. They went through some turmoil at the end of the late 70s, early 80s. I know all about that.
but
yeah. And they
they're-
certainly bounced back
They're
beautifully.
fantastic now. I mean,
They
they're
are,
just
yeah.
fantastic. So David and I thought, let's leave now instead of waiting for them to get Aerosmith back together. Let's leave now and try and take advantage of, we've been touring
Okay.
and we've had records on the radio, and so Atlantic had interest, and
Wow.
so I thought let's put a band together and do it.
Okay. Wow.
And so we did.
So you basically the Joe Perry project was your idea.
No, that was Joe's idea.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Fahrenheit was me and David.
Oh,
David and I put that
okay. Just
together.
you and David Fahrenheit.
And then we found John Muzzy,
Okay. Muzz.
and we experimented with different types of lineups,
Okay.
but we landed on the trio, and we got a deal on Warner Brothers,
Awesome.
and we were signed right away on Warner Brothers before we even did any gigs,
Incredible.
and that's how I got to know the Fools, because once we got our record done,
Yeah.
we said we better we better go out and do some shows before we tour. We got the Boston tour,
Okay.
and so the Fools let us open for them.
Okay.
For, I
Well,
don't
they
know,
were just starting
15 to
out too
20
at that
shows.
time, right?
No, they were a big draw.
How long had those guys been in? Because I mean, my
Long
first
time.
song by the Fools was, and the only, I mean, to me, that I think it's a night for beautiful girls, and that was
Yeah.
the spring of 1980.
They had Psycho Chicken.
Okay, yeah, I remember
They had-
that too.
They
yeah.
had a lot of records, a lot of
Okay.
songs on the radio, and
Yep.
they were very popular.
Oh yeah, they
and-
still are.
And they still are.
Playing at the Cabot recently, I guess.
I just did 2 shows
You,
with them
you
over
too,
the
right?
last
At the
couple of
Cabot.
months.
Yeah, good for you.
Good friends for a long time.
Mike Gerard, I know.
Mike Gerard.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then we went on a tour with Boston. We did 90-something shows.
Wow.
Every show was sold out. We did 9 nights at the Centrum. The first leg of the tour, every night, every city was 4 and 5 nights.
Oh man.
And so it was just a blast. And the band went over great every
of
night.
course.
And we had fun. You know, we're friends today. We're
You
still
made money.
friends.
What else can you ask for?
You know, it's never really been about the money for me. It's about the blast, and it's about the message of the songs. And it's
Of
about,
course.
Yeah, it's
I
fantastic.
mean, I know when you're an artist, you got to be passionate about what you do, and you certainly are, and so are those guys.
Yeah,
big time.
And they're the best, very best musicians. I've played with some of the best musicians in the world.
Wow.
So
And well, don't count yourself short. Don't sell yourself short of that category either.
well, I'm just thankful that I've been able to meet them and been able to.
If you weren't one of them, they wouldn't have accepted
Well,
you into their.
thank you for saying that,
glee
Harrison.
clubs. Oh yeah. Hey, look, I call it like I know it.
So now, at the end of in 1989,
Yep.
my first child was born.
Yeah.
And
well,
music-
just let's back up a little bit. Now, how did you, with all the touring you did, how did you have time to, start a family and all that? I mean, I assume your wife was very supportive. She was probably with you at every show.
No,
No?
she had her own career. She was in interior design
Okay.
and architectural design.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, and she would come to some shows, but
Yeah, oh.
she had her own career, and we didn't have kids. You know, we were married in '81,
Okay.
and because I was in the Joe Perry project.
Exactly.
I had a grown man's job at this point.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when we decided to have children, my wife said, I'm not going back to work. And so I said, and the music had changed,
Right. How so?
and
You mean what? You mean
there was a new sound.
new sound? Okay. The new
Okay.
wave of the '80s. You mean?
the
well, we're
nine-
talking about
This
1989, right?
grunge music,
Grunge,
and
right.
rap, rock
Nirvana.
rap, and I liked it, but I knew that wasn't us.
That kind of thing, right?
And so Warner Brothers I could tell that they were looking to go in a new direction too.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? The rock and roll is fun for a single couple with no kids. It's fun
Right.
for a single guy or a single person, but it's not the best platform to raise a family around.
Okay.
And we were still playing and headlining, but I went to work at Digital Equipment Corporation. I took a position there,
Okay. Where are they located?
worldwide.
Well, this is a sound studio, right? Or this is a music equipment company?
No, Digital
Oh,
Equipment
different sounds
Corporation
computers, right?
was a big computer company.
Computer company. Okay.
Like IBM type big.
Right.
And they have offices all over the world.
Yep.
So it was a great big outfit, 100,000+ employees.
Right. Wow.
And I got a job, a small job, working at Digital.
Okay.
And I worked my way up to a good grown man's job.
Okay.
And Compaq bought us. And
Okay.
Compaq Computers.
Yep.
right? And the partners that I was working with were really important to Compaq. So I was able to, I went down to Houston 2 weeks out of the month.
Okay.
And, bounced my way up, had some successes, and had some promotions. Then HP bought us, and the same thing occurred. I promoted, and I got to a point where I had a global kind of a business development.
Well, it
kind of
sounds
a
to me
job.
like you made. I mean, with all this? What time did you have for the music though? Working for.
I stopped touring,
You did.
and
You went-
I
okay.
still performed,
Okay.
but a couple of 3 times a year, and I still made records, but alone in my studio.
Okay.
So I could still find time to do that, but I stopped touring. My focus was on my grown man's career.
Okay.
I like to call it my grown
I
man's.
understand. At this
But
point,
it got to the point where I was pretty successful and learned that, you know what? I can retire. I could take an early retirement.
from what? From the digital job?
Right. At
Okay.
Hewlett Packard at the time.
Okay.
And get back full time into music.
Beautiful.
my wife, you know, the kids are grown now.
Of course, you have
And
grandchildren. You told me.
Yes.
Wow.
And so she
You don't look like you do,
is
but
a teacher. I have 3 children,
beautiful.
and I have 2 girls and a boy.
Yep.
Two young ladies and a young man.
Gotcha.
And I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter,
Sweet.
2.5-year-old granddaughter, and a 6-month-old grandson.
Man,
And
living the
they're
American
beautiful.
dream right here.
Yeah. So my kids are all out of the house. They're
Yep.
all launched.
Sure.
And I make the joke now that I say I introduce my wife as my girlfriend,
Oh,
and I make the joke that now that the kids
she's
are
not
all
really a groupie. Well, you say she's used to be a groupie, but now you.
oh no, she's not a groupie.
Not now, but was she ever?
No,
Oh, all right. If you say so.
she's a classy lady.
Okay.
But I tell people now that nobody's calling.
I didn't
them,
mean that in a bad way, though. When I say, I mean, all I look at as a groupie is a fan who decides to spend as much time with a band as she can, or he even anyone that likes a band for their because they're so popular and they inspire them with their music or him that they want to make like a lot of time with them. That's what I say as a groupie. I don't mean it in a bad way. Or,
Well, now I tell people
All right.
that she's my girlfriend.
Okay.
Because nobody's calling her mom.
oh,
in the house anymore.
what don't your kids call them mom?
Well, they're not living with us now.
I know, but don't they ever come by for Sunday dinners?
Of course they do.
Well, there you go.
We have the yard is filled with toys for the babies.
There you go. Okay.
And they come and play in the pool, and
Okay.
we have a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure you do. So how did you manage to? So when you realized you could retire from digital, you were starting your family, and then you went back to your music, and you started your own record label. Is that it?
I had my own company
Okay.
that I used to release records.
I understand. So is that the same company you have today that you still?
F-Man Media, right?
Okay. So when did you found that company?
When
long ago?
When I released my first record, which would have been in maybe early 90s.
Okay, so about 25 years ago.
Right.
a
So
little
we
more than that.
wanted to have a separate business account,
Right.
so that we could funnel all of the earnings for the business through it. And so you have to start a company to do that. So we
Yep.
started F-Man Media then, and I retired and kind of thought, what am I going to do? And I ended up doing a project with John Butcher,
Okay.
who was a friend of 40 plus years.
I know. Yeah.
And,
Great musician.
And he was at a stopping point, and he was living on the West Coast. And
Right.
he was at a point, you know, in the music business, you work on something, you build it, it happens,
Yep.
it has a life, and then it's over. And so he was at that point too. So we said, we've been talking about this for 35 plus years.
Yep.
So we put together a duo,
Yeah.
2 guitars, 2 singers.
Cool.
And we did a record
Yep.
called it FBI, Farren Butcher Inc.
Right.
And we toured around with that for a couple, maybe 2.5 years.
This was like the mid '90s. You did this?
No, this was 2000.
Oh, really? Late, much more recently then.
Maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years ago.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So where did your band Fahrenheit come in from all this? I mean, out of this?
Well, Fahrenheit was after the Joe Perry project.
Oh, it was.
That's
okay.
when we toured with Boston, across,
So all right. So and that-
87.
Oh, okay. I understand. All right.
So Fahrenheit was 84 to 90.
Oh, I see. Okay. But not now. As far as these bands are concerned, now you're still performing with Joe Perry project, correct?
Well, I
And-
did a show. I did 2 shows last month
Okay.
with Joe.
Yep.
They were kind of one-offs. So that was he was doing a project called Joe Perry and Friends.
Okay.
And he did a record, and he had guest singers. And so I met Terry Reed, who
Wow.
I was a fan of when
Sure.
I was a young guy. He did some shows when we played at the House of Blues in Boston.
Okay.
And he was a guest. I was a guest.
Yeah, of
and we
course.
did a couple of songs that I wrote with Joe.
Okay.
So that band was Joe, David Hull,
Yep.
Brad Whitford
Yep.
of Aerosmith,
Aerosmith. Yeah.
Dizzy Reed of Guns N' Roses,
Wow.
Jason Sutter. He plays with Marilyn Manson in Smash Mouth.
Wow.
So it was a really good band.
Oh man.
And,
Legends.
And when I went down to rehearse with them, we played through East Coast, West Coast
Okay.
first, and within a bar, it was just like back.
Wow.
It sounded great, and so I did the House of Blues in Boston, and then we did the Casino.
Which one? Foxwoods?
No, the Casino up in Hampton Beach.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And so I was Barry Goodrow from Boston was also a guest on those shows.
Wow.
So he was touring in like in one location. I think he had Robin Zander as a guest.
Okay.
One location he had Buster Poindexter there what's his name? I'm forgetting his name.
Busta Rhymes?
No,
No,
he's
that's
David
rap.
Johansen,
Oh, David Johansen,
who's
sure.
just fantastic. And
Gotta get out of this place, right?
well, he was in the New York Dolls, remember?
Okay.
But he's just fantastic on stage. And so Joe was having guests, and he was doing that to tour and to promote his new record.
Okay.
But he also plays with the Hollywood Vampires,
Okay.
and that's what he's doing now.
Okay. Now tell me something. Now you're also a judge on America's oldest TV talent show, Community Auditions.
No, the Emmy Award-winning community.
The Emmy Award-winning and oldest TV talent show in the country. Before The Voice, before Idol, before America's Got Talent, there was Community Auditions.
Fun thing to do, fun show to do.
How did they pick you for that? I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but go ahead.
How did they? I had made a record maybe 5 or 6 years ago with Candy O'Terry, who
Right.
was the
Another judge
morning,
in there.
the morning
Magic person.
on Magic.
No, not anymore, from Magic 106.
Right, and that was the #1 station in the market.
Wow. I remember when they started in 1982.
So she was at an event that I
Okay.
performed at, and I performed a song called "You Were the Only One." And afterwards, she
I
came
saw
up.
that. It was beautiful. I choked up. It was so beautiful when I saw it on YouTube after I booked
yeah.
it for the show.
She said, I would like to do a boy-girl version of this.
Okay.
And I thought, I'm thinking I already recorded it. It's on one of my CDs. And then she said, we could get some people, we could get the pops. I know some people who will play on the pops. We could put strings on it and key
Wow.
changes and turn it into a, like a Disney song. Right?
Sure.
So I thought, well, that sounds interesting. So we did it.
Okay.
We recorded it. And Anthony Resta, who's a friend of mine, a
Yep.
producer, helped produce Candy's vocal.
Okay.
And we worked, it came out and was played across the country.
It's a great song. Yeah, I heard it. It was
And,
beautiful.
And it charted. It got to pretty high on the AC charts.
There you go.
Adult Contemporary Radio charts. And then we released it again with a Christmas version.
Okay.
And Candy rewrote the lyrics. So it came out twice.
Wow.
And that's how I knew Candy, and I think she's the one who recommended
She
me.
recommended you for the panel.
For the panel.
For Community Auditions. Well, Charlie, guess what? We're going to take a little break because Charlie's going to do a beautiful new song off his album.
My new record, which
New
is
record.
going to be called Charlie Farren, Guitar and Voice. It's going to
Okay.
feature 1 guitar and 1 vocal track.
So you guys are in for a treat here. So stay tuned.
Lay down the law. Ooh. Ooh. We've got the power. I believe that we can change this world. It sounds so simple. I swear to God, I believe it's true. Believe that nothing can go wrong. We are infinite, invincible, and strong. And we are here, and it's now, and we've got this. Yeah, and we've had it all along. We are the powers that be. Yeah, yeah. We've got the muscle. We are the authority. Never bow down. Lay down the law. Sometimes you gotta fight to be free. I'm not talking violence. No, the war we've gotta win is in our hearts. The secret is that we've already won. Every moment, a new moment's begun. Every thought and idea is a miracle. And the currency is fun. Are the powers that be. Yeah, yeah. Got the muscle. We are the authority. Never bow down. It's so surprising. No disguise. New world is rising. We are the powers that be.
We are the authority. Never bow down. Never bow down. Never bow down. Lay down the law.
Okay, that was the legendary Charlie Farren, and wasn't that great? That song was called
The powers that be.
Powers That Be, and he's going to talk about it. We're about to wrap the show up, and that's it. So go ahead, talk about that, your new record label.
That's going to be on my new record.
Okay.
The record's going to be called Charlie Farren, Guitar and Voice, and the concept is it's going to feature just one single guitar track.
Okay.
And one single vocal track, like I just did.
You just did.
And I have 11 songs. I don't know if I'm going to put 11 on the record yet or 10, but
Well, definitely, I can't wait to hear that one on it. And to know that you pretty much debuted it on my show.
and all the songs.
Woo!
Yep, pretty much.
Cool.
And all the songs are reflective of the way I play guitar.
Yep.
And they're reflective of the way I live my life.
There you go. Well, Charlie, just so you know, we are just about out of time. I hope you had a wonderful time on Topic Time.
I always have a blast.
Okay. Very quickly, if you want to say hi to anybody, you pretty much gave shouts out to all the big musicians that you played with before. So you want to say hi to your family, your kids, your wife, your kids, your grandkids.
What I'd like to do is thank you for having me in to do your show.
Well, I always say that great guests make Topic Time prime, and you were one of the greatest I've ever had.
There's a beautiful studio, beautiful facility, lots of really talented people
They
here.
are, exactly. Well, I'm the only talent. I'm the most talented one here. Not that everyone else isn't. I've said a little too much already, but so listen, Charlie, are you ready to wrap it up?
I'm ready, man.
Folks, we had a great show. One great guest. Keep watching Topic Time. Take care. And here we go.
Are we going to do it?
Yeah,
I'll do it with you because I've learned the song.
you got the rhythm. You got it down.
This is really happening.
Isn't it?
How about this? It's crazy.
High five.
I love it. I love it.
Woo! There we are. How's that?
That's great.
All right.
That's fun.
Isn't that